back, dear students. We were discussing about the chapter alcohols, phenols and ether. In today's class, let's learn about the preparation, physical properties and chemical reactions of ethers. First, about the preparation of ethers. We are going to study mainly two methods for the preparation of ethers. First is dehydration of alcohols, and the second important name reaction or the synthesis is Williamson synthesis. These are the two main methods of the preparation of ethers we will study in this chapter. And also we will deal with boiling point, melting point, the physical properties of ethers and also the chemical reactions that the ethers undergo. These are the three topics that we will deal today. So, first with the preparation of ethers. The first method we are going to study is by dehydration of alcohols. Dehydration, that is removal of water, isn't it? By dehydration of alcohols, how the reaction happens. Alcohols undergo dehydration in the presence of what? Protic acids. Okay, protic acids means that contain acids containing H+. In the presence of protic acids, alcohols undergo dehydration. Examples of protic acid are H3PO4. What is that? Phosphoric acid and H2SO4 sulfuric acid. In the presence of protic acids, alcohols undergo dehydration. And there can be what? Two products. Okay. Two types of products. One is alkene and also ethers. The formation, whether it is an alkene or an ether, depends upon the reaction condition. Okay. The reaction conditions will determine the product. Whether if it happens at 443 Kelvin, the product is what? Alkene. And if the reaction happens at 413 Kelvin, the product will be ether. So the temperature or the reaction conditions determine the product. Alcohol, for example, CH3CH2OH in the presence of sulfuric acid, which is a protic acid, and also at 443 Kelvin will give you alkene. And if we took the temperature as 413 Kelvin, is the reaction temperature is 413 Kelvin and also at the presence of H2SO4, the protic acid will give you ether. So, alcohol at the temperature 413 Kelvin and also in the presence of protic acid, sulfuric acid will give you ether. This is the first method of preparation of ether. Now let's study about the mechanism of this dehydration of alcohol. We already studied about alcohols in the presence of 413 Kelvin and also protic acid, sulfuric acid will give you what? Ether. That means if we take the alcohol CH3CH2OH, okay, we are going to study the mechanism. Here the oxygen lone pairs and also I already told you in the presence of protic acid H2SO4, isn't it? H2SO4 will give H+. It will give H+ ion. So first what happens is that the lone pair of oxygen will attack this H+. Okay. Lone pair will attack this H+ and you will get what? Protonated alcohol. That means hydrogen will attach this to this oxygen and oxygen will get a positive charge. Understood? First step is the protonation of alcohol. That alcohol will react with H+ to form protonated form. Oxygen will get a positive charge. In the next step, another molecule of alcohol, CH3CH2OH, the alcohol that we are taking, another molecule of alcohol will react with protonated alcohol. This protonated alcohol, oxygen with 2 hydrogen, isn't it? Oxygen carrying the positive charge. And what happens is that this lone pair, the lone pair of the other molecule of alcohol will attack this carbon and here water removes as H2O. Okay, to neutralize the positive charge, this bond goes to the oxygen. So, the dehydration happens. Water molecule is removed and we will get what? If the alcohol is removed and also CH3, CH2OH, CH2, CH3 we will get, isn't it? CH3, CH2OH, CH2, CH3. And here this oxygen is attaching to this CH2, isn't it? So here oxygen will get a positive charge. That is the product that we got in the second step. CH3 CH2OH, another molecule of alcohol, will react with the protonated alcohol. So one of the lone pair reacts with this CH2 and water molecule is dehydrated. Water molecule is removed. So CH3 CH2OH, oxygen gets a positive charge and this CH2 CH3 is the product that we are getting here. That CH3 CH2OH, oxygen with a positive charge and CH2 CH3, here what happens is that this hydrogen will remove and this bond or the lone pair is donated to this oxygen to neutralize this positive charge. So we will get the product ether, CH3 CH2O CH2 CH3. Diethyl ether, isn't it? Diethyl ether we will get here as a product and also the H+. First protonation happens in the presence of sulfuric acid. The alcohol will react with the H+ ion to get the protonated form of the alcohol. That alcohol will react with one more molecule of alcohol and you will get this product. And to neutralize this positive charge, this hydrogen will leave and that bond will go to the oxygen. So the positive charge will be removed and you will get the corresponding ether. Okay. This is the dehydration of alcohol mechanism. And only primary alcohols will react. Okay. In this case, primary alcohols will only give you what? Ether. Primary alcohols. Some of the important points to remember here is that we can also call dehydration of alcohols as acidic dehydration of alcohols because here we use H+, isn't it? Protic acids are used. So we can also call it as acidic dehydration of alcohols. And this method of preparation is mainly for the preparation of primary ethers. Okay, primary ethers can also only be prepared here. Primary ethers having primary alkyl groups can only be prepared. And the next point is low temperature should be maintained. We already studied that the temperature is 413 Kelvin. The temperature increases beyond 413 Kelvin, we will get alkene. The next point is that the mechanism is SN2 bimolecular nucleophilic reaction. The mechanism followed in dehydration of alcohols is SN2 bimolecular nucleophilic reaction. The last point is when dehydration of secondary or tertiary alcohols takes place, there occurs elimination. That means elimination competes with substitution reaction and you will not get what? Primary ethers. So dehydration of secondary and tertiary ethers will not give, tertiary alcohols will not give what? Ethers. Remember, this reaction is for the preparation of primary alcohols only. So we conclude this method of preparation, that is dehydration of alcohols. Next preparation method is Williamson synthesis. In Williamson synthesis, alkyl halides are allowed to react with sodium alkoxide. Alkyl halides react with sodium alkoxides to give the corresponding ether. Okay, this is RX means what? Alkyl halide, isn't it? Alkyl halide with sodium alkoxide. Okay, sodium alkoxide will remain like this, RO minus Na+. Sodium alkoxide reacts with corresponding alkyl halide to give you what? Ether plus sodium halide. Symmetrical and unsymmetrical ethers can be prepared in this method. Okay, the before method, that is the dehydration of alcohols, only primary ethers can be prepared, but here we can prepare symmetrical, unsymmetrical ethers and also what? Substituted tertiary, substituted secondary alcohols can be prepared by Williamson synthesis. And the mechanism is SN2 attack. That is here SN2 attack of alkoxide ion onto the primary alkyl halide takes place. Williamson synthesis is the reaction of sodium alkoxide to the what? Alkyl halide to give corresponding ether and also sodium halide. And this involves the mechanism of SN2 attack. And symmetrical and unsymmetrical ethers can be prepared also. Substituted secondary and substituted tertiary ethers can be prepared by this methods. Next on to the mechanism of Williamson synthesis. we studied that alkyl halide reacts with alkoxide to give the corresponding ether. So what is the mechanism is that in the alkoxide, this is what sodium alkoxide, isn't it? Sodium alkoxide. This is sodium and this is the alkyl group. Sodium alkoxide, the O minus will react with, or it goes and attack the R group of the alkyl halide, and the halide leaves to give you what corresponding ether, ROR. In sodium alkoxide, this O minus and Na plus, isn't it? O minus attacks the corresponding R group of the alkyl halide to give you ROR. This is the ether, R, O and R. And this sodium halide is removed. Plus NaX you will get. Minus charge of the oxygen will attack the R group of the alkyl halide, and the halogen leaves to give you ROR plus NaX, sodium halide. Now take an example. CH3Br plus CH3C, tertiary alkoxide, okay. Alkoxide to give. Here what happens, what will be the mechanism? In this alkoxide, the O minus will attack the CH3 group and this Br group leaves. In reverse order you can write here, from the alkoxide O minus attacks the CH3 group and Br halide leaves to give you CH3O. This CH3O. CH3 attacks this O minus, or O minus attacks the CH3, isn't it? CH3O, CH3 will be the corresponding ether that you will obtain, and sodium bromide, NaBr, will be the byproduct of the reaction. Understood? And also here you can see that in the alkyl halide only primary alkyl group is taken, and in the alkoxide we have taken the substituted group, isn't it? In the reverse order we can't take, and we will not get the corresponding ether product, okay. Always in the alkyl halide side we will take the primary group, and in the alkoxide we will keep the substituted groups to get the corresponding ether. Let's look what will be the case when we take what RX, alkyl halide R. If we take primary group only, we will get the corresponding ether that I already told you. Now let's look at the condition when we take R as a tertiary group, and in the reverse order, and in the alkoxide if we take the primary alkyl groups, what happens, okay. So the primary alkyl or RX group is here what? CH3. This is a tertiary alkyl halide, okay. If we are taking a tertiary alkyl halide, what happens, that we are going to look. Tertiary alkyl halide with a primary alkoxide if we are taking, here what happens is that in this reaction this alkoxide acts as a nucleophile, isn't it? Nucleophile, where this minus group or the minus charge, that is oxygen, acts as a nucleophile and it attacks the alkyl group and the X leaves, isn't it? Here, but in this reaction this alkoxide will act as a base, okay. It can also act as a base, where base abstracts this proton. In this CH3, one proton will be abstracted and you will get what? A double bond here, okay. This hydrogen leaves and you will get a double bond, and this halide group leaves, and you will get 2-methyl propene here plus NaBr plus CH3OH. So we will not get a corresponding ether. So always in Williamson synthesis you should take the alkyl halide as primary alkyl halide, and also the corresponding alkoxide as substituted, tertiary or secondary we can take. Always here primary group should be taken, and here you can take what? Secondary or tertiary group, depending upon which ether we need to prepare. If we are taking a substituted or a tertiary alkyl halide, what happens? We will get a what? Corresponding double bond group. If we are taking this substituted tertiary alkyl halide plus primary alkoxide, we will get what? Here elimination reaction happens, okay. Here elimination reaction happens to give NaBr plus CH3OH. No need to study the mechanism of this reaction. So if we are taking tertiary alkyl halide, we will get double bond, and the elimination reaction happens here. So always in Williamson synthesis we should take alkyl halide as the primary group and the corresponding alkoxide as tertiary or secondary, depending upon which ether we need to prepare. Phenols also undergo Williamson synthesis. Williamson's ether synthesis to get the corresponding ethers. Phenols also undergo the reaction. Okay. Phenol when react with the corresponding NaOH. Okay. This hydrogen and this OH will leave and you will get the corresponding phenoxide. Okay. Alkoxide or phenoxide you will get here. When phenol reacts with NaOH, you will get hydrogen and this OH will be removed as water and you will get the corresponding phenoxide. And from here, Williamson ether synthesis starts. And this phenoxide, phenol O minus Na plus will react with the corresponding alkyl halide. Here what happens? This O minus acts as a nucleophile, attack this R group and this halide leaves and you will get the corresponding ether. Phenols also undergo Williamson's ether synthesis to get the corresponding ether phenol. When they react with sodium hydroxide, you will get a corresponding phenoxide ion and that phenoxide will react with this alkyl halide to give the corresponding ether. This is all about Williamson's ether synthesis. We will do more questions in the next class. Now about the physical properties of ethers. Physical properties of ethers. Ethers always have a net dipole moment, okay, due to the polarity of the CO bond present. Ether is what? ROR, where there will be an alkyl group, okay. Due to the polarity of this CO bond, always ethers will have a net dipole moment. That is the first physical property of ether. Next is about the boiling point. Boiling point of ethers is comparable to alkanes, but the boiling point is what? Much lower than that of alcohols of comparable molecular mass. When we compare an alcohol and also an ether of comparable or of similar molecular mass, always the boiling point of ether will be much lower than that of the alcohols. Okay, even though there is polarity for the CO bond in ether, the boiling point of ethers will be always less than that of alcohols. The next point is ether molecules are miscible in water. Okay, they are dissolved. They can be dissolved or they are miscible in water. Like alcohol, the oxygen atom of the ether will form what? Hydrogen bonds with the water molecule. Okay, the ether molecule will form hydrogen bonds. How? The oxygen of the ether. This is what? Ether, isn't it? Ether will form hydrogen bonds with the alcohol. This is the formation of hydrogen bonds with water molecule. This is one molecule of water, the other molecule of water, and also either forms hydrogen bonds. Okay, it forms hydrogen bonds with the molecule of water similar to that of alcohols. The boiling point is lower than that of the alcohols, but they form similarly to that of the alcohols, they form hydrogen bonds. These are the physical properties of ethers. So students, we are going to conclude today's session. If you have any doubt, you can comment below. Thank you and have a nice day.